Maker Studios. She's kind of fine, but I wouldn't place her as a cutie though. Okay, that sucked. Let me try this again. Maker Studios. You just a faker. I'm the booty pro. It's a little bit better. This is defense mode, switch and attack mode, and the video in question that we're reviewing is Way William Johnson Tried to Warn Them by Patrick CC. Yeah. So the video is basically about Maker Studios and multi-channel networks, MCN. I don't know if y'all remember, because I've been watching YouTube since like 2007. So I'm OG in the game, in the YouTube watching game. Back then, around the time when like getting your channel like approved was freaking harder than it is now. Become a partner, what I mean. Becoming a YouTube partner used to be a fucking mission. And only a few select of the top YouTubers at the time became partners. And you basically needed an MCN to get to it. So I recommend that you watch that video, because if you're interested in how things used to work with the MCNs and stuff, and Maker Studios, it was like one of the most popular ones before they got bought out by Disney. And the guy's name is Danny Zapton, who was the CEO, pretty much the one who came up with this idea. And anything, he brought it up to his girlfriend and his girlfriend's brother, I believe. And he's the one that came up with the idea. The funny thing is, Danny Zapton is a criminal. So he was a criminal before it got into it. So that explains all you need to know about this situation. I summoned Gaga Gigo in attack mode. I just love that that's his name. So ridiculous. And yeah, so I never really knew the backstory of this. So when I watched the video from Patrick CC, I'm actually like, intrigued as hell. 22-minute video, and it's very interesting. It basically goes into detail about Danny Zapton, his beginnings, how he became a criminal in the first place, how he came up with his idea, brought it to his girlfriend's brother, they became partners in it, and they basically created MCN. I think first it was just supposed to be like a channel, like kind of like a Universal Studios or something, or my bad, Hollywood Studios. Basically like a big partner program that teams out a bunch of top creators. This is back when YouTube was at its infancy, when it wasn't really, structured as it is now, and the quality wasn't as good, because the technology wasn't even there yet. And people was mostly the top YouTubers and people just webcams with creative ideas. Ah, crap, this bastard got me. No choice but to pick my Gaga Gigo. And he gave me whatever this shitty ass monster. Griggle. You motherless fuck. Good thing I have my Explode Dragon to fuck you over. Go ahead, attack my Explode Dragon. Attack him. There you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just attack. I just don't like the fact that you have my muscle. Anyway. Yeah, so they explained that Danny Zapton was a freaking criminal. And basically he was the one that came up with this MCN multi-network channel thing. Because MCNs used to have to do everything. They're the ones do them. A lot of gaming channels would get demonetized, and they couldn't, gaming companies back then will freaking, even worse so than now, will freaking take your shit down. Ooh, trap hole. Will freaking take your shit down if you even try to upload it and get video game footage. Now gaming companies know that it's free advertisement, and if anything, they want you to play the games. But back then they're all Nintendo-ish with this shit. And they don't want nobody fucking, they want nobody playing the games. So basically, yeah, so using like a company like Maker Studios would pretty much be a beneficiary, because not only could you use gaming footage without being freaking demonetized or taken down, you'd also be able to play certain music. Even to this day, there's certain music you can't play unless it's free. But you can even play certain music on there because of them. They had like all these they basically have their own network of things. They have, I think, access to like Hollywood or studios, or some kind of connections where they could do more than you would by yourself. And back then, you really needed an MCN. If you wanted to become a YouTube partner, you wanted to make any kind of money in the business, you really needed a YouTube partner. And I remember even back then, how long ago was it? I think back like when I started making videos like 2017 or something, or a little before that, I think maybe. I remember even hearing about like YouTubers talking about MCNs and why you need one and all this stuff. And basically the gist of the story is how MCNs are basically a scam, and they just took everyone's money. They're like 40%. And then Maker Studios was one of the bigger ones where some of the most subscribed YouTubers was subscribed to him. And Ray William Johnson was one of the freaking Like at one time in 2012, he was like the 5 million subscribers. He was like the biggest YouTuber on the galaxy. Who should I summon? I'm gonna summon Magnus Slash. Basically, he was the biggest YouTuber at the time, and then he eventually, when Maker Studios became bigger, they got to destroy this, destroy your cards, son. Come on, die. There you go. Anyway, yeah, but William Johnson eventually they tried bullying him into like he had 8 more months in his contract, and they tried bullying him into signing a new deal that'll take more of his money, and he got and of course he fought back against it. They even made YouTube videos that showed proof of like all the shady shit that Danny and them were doing because they're stupid. MCN as an MCN they were doing good. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars, and these freaking idiots. Instead of it, they had like a small little studio that they paid for, a small little like rental place, and they went ahead and freaking moved to a much bigger place, a much more space, and they're basically just screwing themselves over. Summon him. The Stylos, the Firestone, or Notch. So basically, yeah, they're freaking. They went into a much bigger place, rented a much bigger place, like a whole building or something, and then they needed more money, and then they tried bullying Ray William Johnson, who was number one YouTube, most subscribed YouTube at the time, and that was basically it. And then Ray William Johnson made a bunch of videos trying to warn everybody and tell them about him, but then that didn't stop a whole bunch of creators like Penguin Zero, Moist Critical, and even freaking the new number one YouTuber that took over Ray William Johnson, talking about PewDiePie, didn't stop him from doing it either. But like by that point, that they weren't even taking 40% anymore of anyone's money. At least that's what Patrick speculated, because he was even speculating that that they were basically just trying to sell off the company at that point. Danny, whatever his name is, Danny Zappin or whatever his stupid name, he was trying to sell the company because he realized the MCN was not again a one. Jesus Christ, give me more than a freaking one. 2. Try this one more time. 2 again. You know, fuck this. Blah blah blah. So basically, yeah. So I need 3 of these freaking APs to even move. But basically, he was he's trying to solve the company eventually because YouTube in 2012. No, I think it's 2014. Man, it's probably 2012. I have to, but anyway, shit, I lost my freaking thingamajig. Whatever. Again with this shit. Gotta move 3. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. You can do with this for already. What we got here? You've come to reward me when you victory, have you? Let's go. Wait, I'm losing track. So anyway, he eventually realized YouTube eventually made it that anybody can be a YouTube partner, just by meeting a certain criteria. You don't longer need an MCN, and anyone can order a thumbnail. I didn't even know that thumbnails were exclusive to YouTube partners, or you have to go to an MCN like freaking Maker Studios to even do that, to make a freaking thumbnail. But then YouTube made it that no, anyone can make a thumbnail. Anyone can use a partner by meeting a certain criteria, and screw all that. And then Danny Zappin was smart enough to realize that was pretty much the beginning of the end of this MCN corporation, Maker Studios. They had all these hundreds of millions of dollars from all these ads they're making from ad money and AdSense money they're making from freaking all these YouTubers. And a lot of times they didn't even care that they're getting 0% towards the end, because they would basically just hold their money in there so they could show the stockholders, like, hey, look all this money we have here, like all these views we have from PewDiePie and all these other guys, just like as a way to like negotiate and try to sell the company. So they didn't even care at that point. And eventually they sold the company. Zapton kept trying to be CEO. His partners didn't want him to be CEO. He still had his legal record, trying to get that expunged. He couldn't. He ended up suing them, and there's a whole bunch of drama. But basically, Danny Zapton eventually, they eventually sold the company to Disney's dumb selves. Remember, this like mid-2010s, or mid or early 2010s, when Disney was on top of this game with every freaking aspect of their business. And what can I summon? They're on top of the game, every aspect of the business, and this is basically when they're in buy everything mode. They're trying to conquer the whole world. They're in the bought out Marvel, they bought out freaking They bought Marvel, they bought Star Wars, they bought out on Pixar, and then of course they bought out this too, thinking that hey, we could just use this as a platform to get all the YouTubers who are underneath the MCN, the Maker Studios, to freaking pretty much be promotional bitches for all of our freaking things. They could have done that, even forced that, which is what Patrick said in the video, but then they didn't. Why didn't they? Damn, I can't even summon a monster. This sucks. Why didn't they? Nobody knows. But I think Disney realized that they pretty much wasted $500 million and threw it in the air and just fucking. We just activated this crap. They realized that they fucked up and they and they pretty much just wasted $500 million on a freaking dead studio. So when they realized that, they just pretty much it's because they changed it to Disney Studios or something like that. But basically, it was just a waste of money. Something Disney's known to do. And then all the guys, the co-owners of the company, Danny Zapton and his girlfriend's brother, all the stuff. They made all this money. They became filthy rich, and then they went and lived happily ever after, rich people. And then basically the rest of the company just pretty much went nowhere. Disney never really utilized them. Everybody started getting off the programs. Everybody was already making videos complaining about Maker Studios and stuff. But basically getting an MCN, to me, even back then when I thought about it, I always thought it was a stupid idea, even back then. Because I'm like, why would you want to give 40% of the money, the hard-earned money that you're making to a studio? Oh, because if something happens, they could, work, they could, talk to YouTube for you and all this stuff. Back then in like the late 2000s, early 2010s, it made sense. But once you started reaching kind of inching more towards the middle 2010s and shit, it just became 100% useless and it didn't make sense anymore. And I honestly don't know why anybody wanted to give 40% of the money. It's that whole thing where it's like, I'm too lazy to do things on my own. If something happens on my YouTube channel, I don't want to freaking have to work hard and call a lawyer or something or whatever. I'm gonna just go ahead and get MCN and he'll do it for me. And to be honest with you, yeah, MCN did work back then for things like that. But nowadays, like, still can't sell my. I lost this dude. But basically, it's a very interesting video about the whole story of Maker Studios and how they became as profitable as they are, how they sold to Disney, ran off with the money, and how YouTube pretty much made it useless for any MCN to exist anymore. And just basically how YouTube became what it is today, and how it used to be just a weird world back then. How people used to just throw their money at these MCNs to freaking just because of false promise to help them, grow their channel or whatever the stupid ass reason is. To give 40% of your money, of your ad money to any freaking company, to me seems freaking crazy. Even back then, seemed crazy. It made more sense back then, but even once YouTube made that policy about anybody can become a YouTube partner with an MCN, that was basically the beginning of the end. Making sure that Danny just zapped them, at least give him credit. He was smart enough to realize that and sold the company to Disney's dumbasses as soon as he could. Oh, I might actually give a chance of winning because when you have 2 or more monsters and I have none, I get this special summon. I get the special summon, the Fiend Mega Cyber. Fiend Mega Cyber attack. Cyber Slash. You stop asking me a dumbass question, shit. I get it, reinforcement, shit. If I win this duel, this is gonna be the biggest comeback in the history of comeback on this channel. Can't believe I turned that around. I could have sworn I was gonna lose the last time. Yeah, like I can't imagine doing that now. Like obviously I have no subscribers and no views and shit. But let's say in an alternative universe where I actually am somewhat successful. To get MCN to freaking take 40% of your money is like hell no. I'd rather be a channel that doesn't get monetized at all and just gets freaking money from supporters through Patreon or whatever the fuck, or donations, rather than ever freaking sign to an MCN or anybody who's gonna come up to me and say, hey, there's 40% of money, we'll take care of you. Shit, unless that means 40% means that you're gonna freaking somehow grow my channel, I ain't fucking doing that. I mean, that's what they promised too back then, but just even now, more so now, it just seems asinine. Funny thing is, Karate Man can destroy you without even activating his effect of doubling his attack points. See, the music playing is still the he's about to lose music. Fiend Mega Cyber attack. Cyber Slash. And Karate Man attack with Rano. Karate Chop. Kung Fu grip. Check. Alright, this is a slow burn, but it looks like I might actually make a full comeback and win this duel. So I better get a DP up the ass for making this comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Been here for years. The L Cool J comeback. The Mama Said Knock Y'all comeback. What was this? I don't know what the card does, but I'm gonna just go ahead and just nah. Ah, crap! I actually caused myself to deal with that. Anyway, good because this would have dragged on longer than it needed to. Next time I'll whoop his ass. This attack mode switches back to defense mode. See, I messed up my catchphrase. Attack mode switches back to defense mode. I'm out. Peace. See, I don't always win. I'm realistic over here. Give me praise.